Hello friends, today we are going to start with a new poem. The name of the poem is The Shed and this poem is written by Frank Flynn. Now what is basically a shed? Shed is just like a rooftop. I'll just show you. This is a picture of a shed where you'll find, shed could be a shelter to animals also. Shed you can use at your place also to store things. So shed can be a multi-purpose thing that you can where animals could be kept, or you can keep your rough things or the stuff that you don't use. Okay, so this is basically a shed where the poet is referring. So now let's read the poem. There's a shed at the bottom of our garden with a spider's web hanging across the door. Now keep that image in your mind and see that there's a shed at the bottom. The poet tells that at the end, like at the bottom of the garden, there is a shed which he can see with a spider's web hanging across the door. A spider's web is hanging, when things get old and rusty, there are spider's web that are hanging where there is no cleanliness and it doesn't get clean all the time. So there are spider's web hanging. The hinges are rusty and creak in the wind. When I'm in bed, I lie and listen. I'll open that door one day. So what happens is, when the poet is laying in the bed down, he can listen to the voices, rusty and the creak in the wind. Okay, so the poet is able to listen to all those sounds. I'll open that door one day. So the poet is curious and wants to open that door one day. Now there's a dusty old window around the side. So when you look at that picture, there is a dusty old window. Again, why is it dusty? Because there is no cleanliness in that area. So it's very dusty old window around the side with 3 cracked panes of glass. There are 3 cracked panes of glass in that picture. I often think there's someone staring at me. Now what happens is, when the poet continuously looks at that image, he thinks that somebody is staring out of that picture. For example, whenever he sees that somebody is staring at him from there at this. So these are the window panes that they are referring. So the poet thinks that somebody is staring at me each time that I pass. Whenever the poet passes from there, he feels that somebody is staring. I'll peep through that window one day. So what the poet thinks is that he will peep. Peep means to look into. He thinks that he will look into that window, but one day. He's not sure when he's going to look into, but one day he will look into the window. My brother. So here comes the poet's brother in the picture. Now my brother says there's a ghost in the shed. Now what the brother has to say, he says that there is a ghost in the shed who hides under the rotten floorboards. Now what are the floorboards? The wooden floor. So he says that the ghosts are hidden over there, and if I ever dare to set foot inside, this is poet's brother telling him that whenever the poet even thinks of going inside that shed, what will happen? He'll jump out and chop off my head. He means here he is the ghost. He's referring to the ghost, that the ghost will come out and chop off the poet's head. This is what his brother is telling him. But I'll take a peek one day. Now in his mind, the poet is a little curious as well, and he's also afraid because his brother is telling him that there is a ghost inside who's hidden, and whenever you'll go inside, he will come out and chop your head off. So this is what his brother is telling. Now let us see whether he believes his brother or not. Okay. Now, I know that there isn't really a ghost. This line explains us that the poet is not, actually listening to his brother, like he's not believing his brother a lot about the ghost. He thinks that no, there is no ghost. My brother tells lies to keep the shed for his den. Like he says that his brother wants to keep the shed for his own purpose. Like he wants to keep his own stuff over there. That is why he's telling and cooking up stories for me. There isn't anyone staring or making strange noises. Now the poet is telling to himself that there is no one who's making those noises and staring at me. And the spider has been gone from his web. So this is what he explains to himself, that there is no noise anymore, there is no spider's web. Okay, so he says that since I don't know when, I'll go into that shed one day soon, but not just yet. This is where the poem ends, and this poem ends where he says that The poet is sure that he wants to go inside the shed, but not just yet. He doesn't know when, but he's sure that he wants to go into the shed and to know what is actually there, but he's not sure when he's going to go inside the shed. Okay, so that's all. This is where our poem ends. Now we'll be moving on to the question answers of this poem. Now the first question is, who is the speaker in the poem? Now as to who is the speaker in the poem, we are not very clear about it, but as we read this poem, we analyze one thing, that a child is a speaker. A child is describing everything about the shed and how he used to feel about it. So here we will assume that the poet, that is Frank Fling, when he was a child, he's written the poem at that perspective. So he is the speaker of the poem. Okay, so moving on to the next question, is he afraid or curious or both? So now the poet or the child who's speaking in the poem, he's afraid and curious both. Now why was he afraid? Yes, he was afraid because he was initially able to hear those noises, right? When he used to lay in the bed. You remember in the very first stanza we will see that he used to lay in the bed and he used to listen to those noises. So he was afraid, we can see. And after that, why was he curious? He was also curious. Curious means excited. So he was very excited to know that what's in the shed. Is it actually somebody there who's actually staring at me, and what are the noises? So he was both afraid and curious. So let's move on to the next question. And the next question is, what is he or she planning to do soon? Now the speaker is planning to go into the shed very soon, because he wants to actually explore the shed, what is there and how things are there. So the speaker, he or she is planning to go into the shed very soon. The next question is, but not just yet. These were the last line of the poem where we were actually stressing very much on it, but not just yet. Suggest doubt, fear, hesitation, laziness, or something else. Choose the word which seems right to you. Tell others why you chose it. Now the question here asks you that what do you think? But not just yet. What do you think it expresses? It expresses doubt, fear, or hesitation, or laziness. We know, of course, the fear wasn't there, because by the end the fear was gone, because the poet was saying that he was able to figure out that there is no ghost. He was not believing his brother. So laziness was also not there, because he was excited to go into the shed. So it was just his hesitation. It was his hesitation that was just stopping him, because he was not prepared enough to go into it. He was not, grown up enough to handle anything that happens here. So I think these lines just suggest the hesitation, because he was not prepared into going into the shed actually. So he was just waiting for the right time, like when he grows up a little more and he becomes, brave enough to move into that shed. So therefore it was just his hesitation that was stopping him. So he was believing that he will go into the shed someday when he is able to face anything that happens over there. So these were the question answers, and apart from these question answers, remember the name of the poem and the poet as well, because this is going to happen in your school exam. You can get any stanza out of this poem, and you will be asked to name the poem and the poet. So it's very important that you remember the name of the poem and the poet. So that's all for today. We'll be meeting in our next video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.